Hey guys, welcome back. In today's video we'll be reviewing the Rivarossi U25C. This is a General Electric locomotive. It is a Pennsylvania scheme. So let's take a look with an unboxing. You may notice a little light difference out here. I'm actually outside. This is the first time I've done an outdoor review, but it's a nice day. Lighting is decent, so I figured what the heck. I've ordered some better studio lighting for the inside, so I'll probably be doing the rest of the review, the operation and stuff indoors, but for now, looking at the details, I want some decent lighting. We'll be out here. So I just removed it from the box. It looks like you have some paperwork with this. It's a sound equipped version, so that means it's ESU Loksound equipped. And you've got all the functions from F0 to F19 listed here. All the diesel alternatives, changing the CV value for the diesel horns. Air horns will change some of the air horn options for you. You got your product registration card, as you can see there. And then you also have an exploded parts diagram, single sheet page, front and back there. So it just tells you how to remove parts, part numbers, and things like that if you have to order parts or something goes wrong. Now before I actually pull this out of the case, well, let's go ahead and pull it out of the case and I'll get a closer view here. Just a long sleeve plastic case, the locking plastic interior and soft plastic to keep the locomotive from hitting the hard plastic and possibly scraping the paint. Got foam inserts we'll remove here. Maybe. So it appears to be real sturdy handrails. Just got some foam inserts to remove. See if I can get those to pop out there. Save a little bit of time. And there we have the locomotive. So let's switch views so we can get some closer up close and up front details so you can see what this locomotive is about. So before I begin into the detail, let's talk about MSRP and some road names available. The MSRP for sound units is $299.99. We've got discounts available. I've seen them online with pretty good discounts off that MSRP. And the non-sounds are $219.99. Now my retailer of choice, online retailer of choice, is Train World Online, actually now just trainworld.com. So be sure to check them out. I'll put the link below. Let's talk about some road names. You've got Atlantic Coastline, you've got the CB&Q, and you've got Northern Pacific, and then the model shown here, which is Pennsylvania Railroad. There are a couple different road names, or road numbers in each road name, so you've got lots of options here with this model. Now let's talk about some detail. So kind of a side effect of doing a review outdoors is an annoying neighbor's dog barking. So what we're going to have to do is work through this and go ahead and cover some of the details. Starting from the front, we've got a coupler that appears to be plastic. You've got the MU hoses hanging out, MU hose stands, nice metal grating on the stairs all the way up, yellow handrails, the Pennsylvania Railroad logo up top, separately applied grab irons. You've got number boards, which we'll find out if are lighted later or not. I'm not sure. We have the cab windows, which doesn't appear to have a detailed cab interior. 6519 is the road number along the side. You've got another logo along the side, a lot of warning decals, or a few warning decals. The F plate is on the front, showing that that's the front way of the locomotive. You've got a lot of truck detail, a lot of great detail. You have safety tread all the way along the sides. This is one of the better locomotives I've ever seen with some of the see-through detail on the grating. So you've got the sand lines on the trucks, as you can see there, coming down, really durable, and they are connected to the trucks going on each side there, which is accurate per the prototype. You've got nice fuel tank detail with both the meter and the sight gauge. Working our way to the back, you've got even more great G-R-A-T-E, great detail, G-R-E-A-T. So great detail with the Pennsylvania Railroad logo on the side. A nice crew ladder for access to the top of the roof, which we'll get a look at later. Let's flip it over to the rear end of this locomotive. Take a look at that. You've got nice Pennsylvania Railroad logo, 6519 cab numbers back here, dual lights there, safety chain, these crew stands are actually operable. They go up and down. So that was an interesting feature. You've got coupler cut lever in yellow, along with MU hoses along the back, and again, the coupler. And shouldn't have forgotten the coupler cut lever up front. So a lot of great detail on this locomotive. Let's go ahead and zoom in a little better so you can see some of this, and I'll also show the roof of this locomotive so you can see some of the great detail on there as well. So now we're dealing with extreme close-up detail. You can see the handbrake wheel right there on this left side of the cab, or left side of the locomotive, I should say. And I'm just going to go ahead and move the locomotive along so you can see just how nicely detailed this is in a really close, well-lit area. And unfortunately I have to deal with dogs barking, or a dog barking. You can see the truck detail there, nice close shot of the truck detail. Really great job with that. Let's go ahead and flip it up on its side. I'm going to grab it by its fuel tank so we can take a close look at the roof detail. A lot of great detail showing see-through areas on the back with not a lot of electronics or anything peeking through. Got the exhaust fan there. You can kind of see the different cabinets along the side, the latches. Then up here in the front by the horn is another see-through detail featured there. And you can see the horn and bell right there on the top of the locomotive. So overall, nice weight, nice detail. Now it's time to take it downstairs in a dog-free zone and see how it runs. Now we're in the basement in a nice dog-free, outdoor noise-free room. We know it's nice and quiet. That's where we really want to talk about the sounds and the operation so you can hear what's going on. I will have better lighting here in the next couple of weeks. However, I've got about an 8-week video queue already preloaded, so it may be a while before you see videos with better lighting, but I am working that issue. So I've got the ESU command station running this. It picked it up on what's called Railcom. Automatically you hit a button and it picks up everything, already knows that it's a U25C, etc. That's only with the ESU command station, but it gives you a lot of options. And so I'm going to be working through some of these options. The first thing I want to do is go ahead and fire up the locomotive, and that would be F8, turns on the prime mover sounds. So I'm going to go ahead and turn that on. Now that it's up and running, we've heard the startup sequence. Let's go through some of the functions. F1 is the bell. F2 being the horn. Now the horn's also quillable on the Ecos, so let's listen to that. I believe that's an Ecos only feature. It may be also accessible in some Digitracks. So that's the horn. Now I'm going to go and do a grade crossing like I always do so you can hear. It's a real nice sounding horn from ESU. It's not too loud and blaring, but it has got some of the best sounds coming out of that locomotive. You know, it's not coming out of the box blowing your ears away as far as volume. It's got a nice volume and a real rich sound to it. Now, just a note, you can change to the actual Pennsylvania Railroad Leslie S3L by changing your CV value to 7. And I'll take a look at that here in a bit to see if I can do that. I haven't really figured out the ecos to change CVs yet, so we'll see if we get that later on. It'll just be kind of maybe bonus material. But right now, let's go ahead and focus on the operation of this locomotive. So I'm going to zoom out a little bit, change camera angle, and you can see it move a little bit up and down this strip of easy track. Okay, you can hear the locomotive's gone into kind of a quiet idle. I'm going to go ahead and reverse this, move it on down the track here. That's 2 speed steps there. Let me back off to 1. So 1 is moving a little bit. Need to get up to 2 or 3 to really see a noticeable move. Again, this is just with the ecosystem. Your system may vary. That's 3 speed steps. Going up to 6 now. It's got good motor control. Now I'm up to 12 and 17. Go the other way now. Stay up at about 17 there. .33, and got some momentum built in there, so bring it to a stop before it went off the rails. So you heard the brakes squeal a little bit. Let's continue to listen to some other sounds. You got F3, which is coupler clank. F4 is your dynamic brake. F5 is number board lights. I'll show you that in a little bit of a darker situation. It does have number board lights. F6 is emergency light. I don't really see that, maybe in the back. F7 is emergency light. F8 turns the prime mover sounds off and on. So that was basically the shutdown sequence. You can hear this little spitter valve there. The F9 and 10 is manual notching up and down. F11 is a compressor, which you won't get with that off really. F12 slow spitter valve, F13 is switching mode, 14 sanding valve. I don't think many of these work without the prime mover on, so I'll go ahead and turn the prime mover back on. But you've got the sanding valve on F14, the short air let off on 15, radiator fan on F16, brake set and release on 17, fast spitter valve on 18, and spitters on shut is F19. So let's go ahead and turn this prime mover back on. Manually notching up now. And we're going to notch back down. With the air here. Let's see. Air valve, F11, compressor I should say. A 12 spitter. 13 slow switching mode. There's a sanding. There's a sanding valve there. Short air let off is 15. Radiator fan, 16. So you heard a lot of sounds there. Let's go ahead and look at the lights. I'm going to kill some lights so we can look at the front and rear lights, and then we're going to move on and wrap this review up. So here's the rear of the locomotive. You've got the nice lit number boards front and rear. 6519 number boards are really nicely done, and it looks very prototypical. It's not, blue, it's not super yellow, it's just right. A nice clear LED, barely LED look. I would still consider it somewhat prototypical. So we're actually still in reverse, and I just wanted to show you that when you're in reverse and you have the number board lights on, both the front and rear number board lights are on. So it's not like they're separate in that sense. They are all on one function of the decoder. Now let's go ahead and move to the front, and there's the front lights. And that about wraps up this review. You see the nice windshield wiper detail I forgot to mention earlier. Just this locomotive is very well detailed. Let's go ahead and get this back on the tripod and finish this review up. Before we wrap this review up, there's a couple things I want to talk about. The first thing is I had mentioned during the details that there was no interior cab detail, and there is actually an interior cab detail. So that's just another notch in Rivarossi's belt, making this an awesome model. Now I'm going to go ahead and blame it on that dog barking, but who knows, maybe my eyes are just going bad. But anyway, there is an interior cab detail. The other thing I want to talk to you about is the correct horn for the Pennsylvania Railroad U25C, and that is the Leslie S3L. So I've programmed the CV in here. I'm going to go ahead and fire this up here so you can hear it. We'll give it a minute to start up. And since you've already heard the start up, I want to go ahead and talk to you about the air horn. So default out of this locomotive is the Nathan P3, which is for the Northern Pacific. But with just a quick CV change, you can change and choose from 15 or 16 different air horns. Well, it says 12 to choose from actually. And then you've got bell speeds and brake squeal versions you can change in the CVs. That doesn't take anything special from ESU. I know some of you guys think that everything ESU, we have to do that with an ESU decoder programmer, but it's just a simple CV change. So now that the locomotive started, let's go ahead and listen to a grade crossing sequence. So that's the grade crossing sequence. And then the quillable, which is only Ecos and Digitrax, I think you can do that with. So anyway, I wouldn't use the quillable. I think I just use the actual F2 button, because what you've got there is you can hold it down longer and just let it off for the short and long. And it already has kind of a quill built into it. So that's the correct Leslie S3L horn for Pennsylvania Railroad. Now let me go ahead and turn this off so we can have a little bit of silence for once in this video in between dogs barking and all the locomotive sounds. And let's talk about the value of this locomotive and the strong points and see if there's any weak points. So what you have is an MSRP of $299 for the sound ones, 219 for the non-sound ones, where you'd have a straight DC version. And then you've got your retailer discounts. Again, one of my favorite retailers is trainworld.com. You can check them out or go choose your own. There's discounts that vary all over the place, from nothing all the way to larger discounts. I don't know discount structure on this, but I think I've seen stuff around 25%, maybe a little higher, out on the internet. But for those prices, I think it's a good locomotive. Great weight, great detail. We didn't talk about handrails. The handrails are a little flat. They're rounded up front, they're flat on the side, but I tell you what, the most durable handrail I could ever see. This locomotive is moving before that handrail moves. Those handrails are going nowhere. So those who like sturdy handrails, you could almost snap that thing in two before you're going to bend it. I mean, that thing's not moving. You might snap the locomotive in two. So real good quality, nice detail. We talked about all those see-through details. I just told you that it has a cab interior, the weight. I mean, everything is there in this locomotive. Very rarely do I review a locomotive that has the detail, the weight, the sound, the smooth drive. In Rivarossi, this is not the 1960s version of their molds. This is not 1960s Rivarossi. This is a new mold, all new tooling, and they've redone everything. And then you take ESU and that great guy named Matt Herman that works at ESU to actually record accurate sounds, and you've got a winning combination here where I'm really not finding any downfalls to this locomotive. Now I know you rivet counters will be able to pick things apart, and you can feel free to do that. I filmed it outdoors in a nice lighted area, so you'll be able to pick the things apart you want to, but overall I find this is one of the most flawless locomotives I've ever reviewed. So that's just how it's coming across. I haven't really found any weak spots. I'm sure there's detail inaccuracies. Every locomotive has detail inaccuracies. It's up to you to decide whether those are acceptable to you or not. With that said, we're going to be working on lighting increases. I've got a video queue of several weeks of videos ahead of time, so you won't see the lighting improvement for several weeks because some of these videos are pre-recorded. But we'll see you next time right here on my channel. Thanks for watching. Take care.